Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. So, I was gonna do a recap video of the game last night, but I decided against it because there was other things inside that game that I wanted to pay attention to a little bit more, and I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more forthgoing. The thing about people always say, not to get on StephanieWhite, not to say this, not to say that. But again, I keep reminding y'all, we was all on Christy Sides' head last year when Christy Sides wasn't doing the things that she needed to do, and we wanted her to get fired, and finally she did get fired. So why we can't have the same energy, the same passion about StephanieWhite? Why we can't ask for her to be fired? Now, a lot of people say, hey, she might not get fired, she's gonna come back. But guess what? That's not always a given. I don't care what the circumstances is. I don't care what the front office is. I said this before. If Caitlin Clark applies pressure on the front office, they'll make a decision because they're not going to trade Caitlin Clark. I can tell you that. If she feels like she can't cope with StephanieWhite and StephanieWhite is not helping her progress in her skill level and everything. And we see it. We see it from Lexie. We see it from AB, how they all have regressed. The keys to the offense has been given to Kelsey Mitchell and Natasha Howard. And then when Natasha Howard plays like trash, she still gets the benefit of the doubt. Now, and then when StephanieWhite gets into these press conferences, she always talk about how the team didn't do this, the team didn't do that, the team needed to have more energy, or they playing too many one-on-ones. But you allow your best one-on-one player to play reckless at times. You never reel her in. Now, shout out to Ariel Powers, who probably only practiced one day, made an impact. She made an impact. Yeah, she had 3 turnovers. So what? So what? But guess what? Her defense, she scored, she pressured. Let me tell you, she knows how to switch off a player and not let the player beat them. So then shout out to Shea Petty, who provided offense off the bench as well, where Odyssey Sims couldn't give you nothing. Damaris Doncic, I love her to death, but I think, she's probably, I think she's not feeling it anymore. And she's not playing with the same knack and energy that she had last year. All of this comes down to coaching. Your coach could be a player killer. As we always talk about how players could be coach killers, but guess what? Your coach could be a player killer. Your coach could damage players on your team where it's hard for them to really get into a groove or find themselves to play productive. We have seen literally time and time again that StephanieWhite continues to find a rhythm and then take it away. I understand there's injuries. That can't be the excuse anymore because this team been injury riddled since the beginning of the season. If you can't go out there and scout better players to deal with some of these bigger teams or some of these good teams out there, and you're just gonna throw a handicap band-aid team out that's like going to war and you don't have backup. You just have the front line and you don't have nothing behind you and you get decimated. You're gonna lose. The front office, and the matter of fact, this is I'm calling out Amber Cox on this because you are the GM. Kelly Chris Cross she shouldn't have to get involved. She's the president. You're the general manager. So you should be scouting players and stuff like that. Stop getting these relationship players. It works for a certain period of time, but at the same time, you need to say, hey, we need to get players that's younger, faster, hungrier, that's a little bit more agile. You getting veterans is not always the way to go because guess what? Veterans slows down. They only gonna give you the amount of energy, the amount of input in the game. You need young legs out there. Lexie Hull can't play 40 minutes. Shea Petty is 36 years old. Yeah, she has played way better than what the Bonner gave us. Played to me, she played way better than what Natasha Howard has given us. But you still got old legs out there. Aaliyah Boston playing out of position, but Aaliyah Boston has to do better too. She has to be better. She's getting pushed around. She had a good first half. They got away from her. But then StephanieWhite talks in the press conference, talking about, oh, we got to do better. We got to give the ball to her in the first half, but we can't wait till the fourth quarter. But that's you as a coach. You should already know how to put your player in the position. If you're going to use Kelsey Mitchell as a point guard, you should say, hey, find a way to set up um, find a way to set up AB. If AB, if the entry pass to AB isn't there, move the ball around. She doesn't do that. She doesn't make adjustments. You seen Cheryl Reeves made adjustments from quarter to quarter to quarter last night. But listen to StephanieWhite and this press conference and what she had to say. This is why, this is why me personally, I want a coach that gonna come in. I don't care if it's male or female. I want a coach that's gonna come in and utilize the talent that's on this team the right way. That means Caitlin Clark, AB, Lexie Hall, not just giving it to Kelsey Mitchell, let her do whatever she want to do, or Natasha Howard bringing the ball up. That's not how it's supposed to be. This is why the team can never get in the flow because there's too many people stirring the pot and not enough people contributing to the recipe. You only need one stir in the pot. Everybody else put the other ingredients together.
Yeah, I know the third quarter was kind of the issue on Friday, and today it seemed like it was the second quarter. Just what went sideways, or were there any parallels from those two quarters?
Yeah, to me, it's the end of the second and the beginning of the third. I mean, it's those runs right there. I think just attention to detail in those moments. We had a high turnover rate. I think in both games they turned up their pressure. They got away from us a little bit as well, and it's just being locked in for 40 minutes. We're a team that's still reintegrating new pieces, and we got to find a way to make it click. But look, this team busts their ass, man. I'm proud of this team, how hard we compete, that we put ourselves in position night in and night out. Minnesota's been the best team in the league for a reason, and it was a tough one.
I know you talked pregame about getting AB those touches, and that worked for, I think it was 8 points in the first 5 minutes in the first quarter. Just what was working for you, and AB, what was kind of working in the first quarter?
I think honestly just reading. Like I said, they're going to be super aggressive, and so just making the right reads and just getting downhill and focusing and finishing.
For you, Shay, you kind of described yourself as someone who doesn't fill up the stat sheet, but in your first two games, you had 16 points, you've knocked down so many threes. Just how would you describe your game now, and why have you been able to feel so comfortable?
I still feel like I'm playing the same. I'm just hitting the shots more consistently this time. I put a lot of work in the off season on working on spot up shots and my 3-pointers, and I'm just trying to be aggressive whenever I can.
And what does that say about her play come in on probably one practice and to be able to do that?
Yeah, I think it's big. She's a pro. She's been around. She's experienced. She stayed ready. Getting opportunities, especially when you're on the floor, and the way that Kelsey and AB, work together, it opens things up. And she's been shot ready, and she's knocked down some big ones for us.
This game kind of brought you guys down to 8th in the Saints. Just going into.
All right, so I'm not even gonna listen to no more of that nonsense. But Just look at the expression on Shea Petty's face. Shea Petty is a veteran, 36 years old. You could tell she's in her face, she could say that's a bunch of bull. When Shea was talking, Stephanie White's looking over to her, trying to get confirmation, trying to big her up, smile. These players are over Stephanie White. Yeah, the players have come in to contribute to help the Fever win games. You could tell they tired. You could tell they're beat up, they're exhausted. Your coach doesn't even stand up for you. Lexie Hull gets knocked out last night, almost get knocked out by Caleb McBride, which should have been an ejection. Stephanie White stands over there on the sideline, looking. You didn't even run over there to check on her. You didn't do anything. That's the same thing what happened to Kayla Clark over there in Connecticut. She gets knocked down. You didn't even go over there to help her out. But soon as Kelsey Mitchell get elbowed in the face, and this is going into what I'm talking about now, y'all ran over there to her. AB, Natasha Howard, all of y'all ran over there to her. But then y'all leave Lexie Hull to defend by herself. This team is so divided in the locker room, and you could tell. To be honest with y'all, I could care less about Stephanie White. I could care less about the front office. But when you have players in there that's divided, that's a problem because your coach allowed that. Your coach embedded in that. Your coach put this in these players' head, certain players' head. The Kelsey Mitchells, the Natasha Howards, the DeWanna Barners. We got on AB last year for allowing Kennedy Carter to knock Caitlin Clark down, and she just stood there. She didn't even help her up. Nobody came and helped her up. Same thing this year. Caitlin Clark get knocked around. AB's not around. Lexie Hull gets knocked down. All AB doing over there like this. No, we don't need you to look sharp. Go over there and help your teammate. Go over there and help your teammate. I'm going to say this, and y'all can agree with me. Y'all don't have to agree with me. This team is broken and fractured, y'all. Nobody don't want to say it. We want to look at everything from the play and playoffs and or if Caitlin Clark coming back and all of this. Nah, it don't even matter if Kate comes back or not. This team is broken and fractured, and it's all because Stephanie White has catered to certain players in that locker room. The front office had catered to certain players in this locker room, and it's sickening and pathetic, and I'm over it. Like I told y'all, I don't even care how good Kelsey Mitchell is. She can go. She can go. Caitlin Clark, she needs people around her. I don't care if Kelsey Mitchell is the best back, her and Caitlin Clark is the best backcourt in the W, and I'll take that any day of the week. Caitlin Clark needs somebody that's going to ride for her. She needs players that's going to ride for her. Lexie, Chloe, Sophie. AB is out for herself. She got a podcast with Candace Parker. She's about her money. She ain't trying to jeopardize nothing. She ain't trying to get no fines or nothing like that. Kelsey Mitchell, she's all about her bag. She's trying to get paid. So she ain't trying to jeopardize nothing. But Caitlin Clark, she could argue with the referees, get texts, do everything. She don't care. But nobody comes to her defense. But look at Caitlin Clark being the nice girl. What she does. Pat her teammates on the back, there for her teammates, cheering them on, giving pregame rituals to AB, clapping, cheering up Kelsey, wearing an MVP shirt for Kelsey. But everybody else in that locker room has their own agenda. They always had their own agenda because this front office and the coaching staff allowed it to happen, and it's going to continue to happen until you remove Stephanie White from there. I say fire Amber Cox, fire Stephanie White, move on, bring somebody there that's going to look. I ain't say cater to Caitlin Clark or AB. I ain't saying that. But prioritize your star to build around your star so your star could be successful. Your star can't be successful if you're allowing foolishness to continue to take place. So let me show you a couple of clips real quick. This is Sophie Cunningham. I mean, this is Lexie Hull.
We're going to look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on Hull there. But then that is a technical.
That is a technical.
So Sophie Cunningham, I mean, Lexie Hull just got elbowed in her face by Kayla Brown. Yeah. Okay, we can sit here and say, well, it's a basketball play or she was turning. Nah, inadvertent elbow is a tech. I don't care what she was doing or how she was moving. She didn't have to. She already had the ball cradled up. Yeah, Lexie Hull did foul her in the face from the back. That's inadvertent. But then you went back and threw an elbow in her face. Then you stand there looking like, oh, what? Then Fee standing there with her hand out. You know what I'm saying? Then AB just standing there, just looking at her. Look, she's standing there. She literally standing there looking like, oh my God. Look at Kelsey Mitchell right there. Natasha Howard is in front of Fee. She started backing up. Look at Kelsey Mitchell. I would have been running over there. Natasha Howard should have been right there trying to pick her up. AB just standing there, looking like a big loof. And this is why people take shots at the Indiana Fever, because they soft. They're not going to stand up for each other. They're not going to have each other back. Sophie did the only thing that I feel like was right. And then the fact of the matter is that you already hear AB. She said, well, I like my money. I ain't trying to get fined. But then you got Brittany Griner knocking you on your face. You ain't going to do nothing about it. Now, Brittany Griner is a big person. You know what I'm saying? But you want to elbow other players that's underneath you in their face. But you can't even stand up for your own teammates. But you want somebody to be there for you. To me, I just feel like everybody on that team, even the coaching staff, is out to use Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark gonna have to figure out one way or the other what's gonna be best for her. She's just gonna have to be an asshole to it. That's just a simple fact. She's just gonna have to be an asshole, like Jordan, like Kobe was. Whether you want to play with her or not, that's up to you. But there's other people that want to play with her. Then look at this. StephanieWhite just standing there, pointing with her mouth wide open. But you didn't even make a beeline. You didn't even make a beeline to your player on the court. Tyler Marsh, even though the Chicago Sky is not playing well, but guess what he did? He saw his player got an over-the-back foul, and he reacted and went after the referee. StephanieWhite, you already lost the game. Why not just get ejected? Make it look good or something. Then check this out. This is the difference. This is the one with Kelsey Mitchell.
The act of shooting was but was she in her full release? So no, a big collision. Shifty here.
Everybody ran over there. Leah Boston, she talking about twirling her fingers, and they all running over to Kelsey Mitchell. But then you can even run over there to Lexie Hull. So you gonna tell me that this locker room ain't divided in some form or fashion? Yeah, they make it look for the camera. They smiling happy. But there's division in this locker room because your coach and front office has allowed that. They have allowed that to happen. StephanieWhite can't coach to save her life. She gets out-coached constantly. She get out-coached by Nate Tibbins. She get out-coached by Sandy Bardello. She get out-coached by doggone the dude from Connecticut. She get outcoached by the dude from Atlanta. She been in this game long enough, been around this league long enough, and you don't even know how to coach a team correctly? You had AB and Alyssa Thomas and Breonna Jones over there, and Dejanay Carrington, and you can't even get them to the finals. So what makes us think that you could get Caitlin, Kelsey, and AB to the finals? Nah. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. And I said it last night. There's gonna be an evaluation period on this team this offseason. something's going to happen to this team that we unexpectedly going to see happen. We could sit here and say StephanieWhite is going to be here. She might be here next year. She probably will. She probably will be here next year. But I guarantee she won't be here in year 3. There ain't no guarantee that she'll be here next year. There's nothing. I don't care about the injuries. I have seen it in sports time and time again. The coaches get fired mid-season, end of season. They don't care about what you didn't have. Because I said this before. If the Indiana Fever made the playoffs, she would get stayed. But if they drop out of the playoffs and she didn't do anything, because people can evaluate people evaluate you. Front office look at you and say, hey, okay, this team played well in the first half, or they had a lead, so why they fell apart in the second half? And what's the reason why? You not utilize your players right. You didn't even utilize Chloe Bibby when you had her. Now she's hurt. You don't know when she's coming back. And then people think Caitlin Clark's supposed to come back into this mess of a team where you ain't really got half of the horses there, and think that she's just supposed to come in and play and get this team in the playoffs and win a playoff series when everything is going to be on her? Nah, man. I'd rather Caitlin not to come back. And I said it. I don't even think she's coming back. If she comes back, good and well. But this right here with this team is disgusting. It's very disgusting with this team right now, especially with StephanieWhite, how she's coaching this team, how she's not there for her players, how she continues to throw her players under the bus. You sit here watching your players get knocked out on the floor, and you ain't making no bones about it. But you could get in press conference, throw them on the bus because of how they played. I'm over it, man. Like I said, even if she comes back next year, I still don't like her. I was one of the ones in the offseason that advocated for her because I thought she was going to come in and do the right thing because what she did in the past. How I am so wrong, guys. I am so wrong. But y'all could continue to give StephanieWhite a pass. I'm not. She's trash, and she needs to go. I had rather them kept Christy Size. At least I know Christy Size didn't have the experience, and it would have just took her time. Sometimes we have to be careful what we ask for, because this right here is what you can get. Subscribe to the channel, join the channel as a member. Until the next episode, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.